Can we start with your permission? Can we start? So now Dutiyopadesha, the second chapter. Asnani samastani javanto jiva jatya. There are 84 lakh species in the world. So 84 lakh asanas are there. Asnani samastani javanto jiva jatya. How many jiva jati, how many creatures are there? 84 lakhs. So 84 lakhs asanas are there. Chaturashiti lakshani shiven kathitani ve. Chaturashiti, 84. So 84 lakhs, that is what Shiven Kathitani, that is what Lord Shiva has said, mentioned. Tesham madhye vishishtani shodasho unam shatam kritam. Shodasho unam shatam kritam. Tesham madhye martiloke dvatrinshad asanam shubham. He says 84 are regarded as very, very important, but in Mrityulok, in this lok, Mrityulok, where this cycle and birth is being repeated, in this only 32 are said to be good enough, nothing. Pardon? No, 32. Out of this 84 lakhs, he says 84 are good for maintaining the health aspect. Again he says that no, 32 is sufficient in Mrityuloka. Okay? What are they? Siddham, Padmam, Tatha, Bhadram, Muktam, Vajram, Cha Swastikam. All these are the asanas. Singham, Cha Gomukham, Biram, Dhanurasanam, Evacha. Mritam, Guptam, Tatha, Matsyam. Matsyendrasanam, Evacha. Goraksha, Paschimotan, Utkatam, Sankatam, Tatha. Mayuram, Kukatam, Kurmam, Tatha, Chotan, Kurmakam, Utan, Manduk, Briksha, Manduk, Garudam, Brisham. All these names are Shalbham, Makaram, Chostram, Bhujangam, Yoga Asanam, Yogam Asanam, Dvatrinshad Asnani eva Marte Siddhi Pradani. Only 32 asanas can give you the accomplishment in this loka where this death and birth is being repeated. Okay? But before we proceed further with regard to the techniques of asanas, let us understand the concept of asana first. Which is because people do not understand the salient features of asanas. As I was talking with you, that asana is not only the as upaveshane, there is a as. As means to sit. This is but the root of grammatical root. Asan means asked to sit. Here there are two meaning of this. Asate, aneniti asanam. आस्ते अत्र अस्मिनिति आसनम. दिस इज टू विग्रह. वो कहाँ गए हमारे क्यूरेटर साहब? नहीं है? हाँ, यहाँ है, क्योंकि ही नोज दी संस्कृत, मैं तो अभी संस्कृत भूल गया हूँ, वो ज़्यादा जानते हैं मुझसे. आसते अत्र अस्मिनिति आसनम means at this moment you are sitting on the chair, so this is asan for you, isn't it? When your body resembles the shape of a particular thing, it is also called asan. Say for example, Brikshasana, when your body, Tadasana, in the morning you were doing the Tadasana. So, when your body resembles the shape of this Tad tree, it is called Tadasana. So, there are two meanings. So, you are sitting, so what do you call this? Kushasana. Kush, this grass, kush grass we are using for sitting. Sometimes we are using Vyagra Charm also. So this is also called asana, upon which you are sitting. शरीर के अंगों की विशेष संघटना करके जो आप बैठते हैं उसको भी आसन कहते हैं, लेकिन जिसके ऊपर आप बैठते हैं उसको भी आसन कहते हैं। एक तो ये क्लियर होना चाहिए मामला। उसके बाद आसन इज नॉट ओनली ए फिजिकल पोस्चर। हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू understand this? So with the help of this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it says, should I write in Hindi? All are understanding the alphabet, Devanagari alphabets? Yes. All are familiar? Yes. You are also familiar? My dear friend, she is my student, you know? Yes. She is my student, she has done CCY course with us. And at that point of time, I was teaching traditional yoga, I think. Isn't it? Yes. Patanjali Yoga Sutra. She has done 9 months course. Okay. So, Sthira, Sukham, I will, Sukham, Asanam. Sthiram, Sukham, Asanam. Or people used to say, this is a one compound word, say Sukham Asanam. This is what is the definition given by Patanjali. Now, how people have understood it? Grammatically, because in grammar there is a Bahubri Samas, Sthirancha Sukhancha Sthir Sukham. Means, Sthira means steady, and Sukh means comfort. Steady and comfortable position is said to be asana according to the almost all the commentators. I am not talking about the modern commentators, I am talking about the all commentators, whether they are traditional or whether they are modern. All are understanding this as steady and comfortable. But I don't know, I don't accept this interpretation, to be very, very frank. I used to say, this is sthira, though it is grammatically correct, but I say that the purpose of this is not to teach you the grammar. The purpose is to teach you the practice. Because yoga is a practice-oriented subject, it is not a that subject which is to be memorized and reproduced. So I used to say, this sthira is not qualifying the asana, that is steady or comfortable. I used to say, this sthir is qualifying this sukha. If you have to accept this adjective is not of this asana, but it is the adjective of the sukha. Therefore, you may say it is a compound word. Sthir sukha. When your comfort is steady, when your comfort is maintained for a long period of time, that is asana. So it can be a physical, it can be mental. When you stay in one thought for a long period of time, why I am doing this? Why I am understanding this? Like this, because in the further sutra, Patanjali says, Prayatana Shaithilya. Prayatana Shaithilya. Prayatana Shaithilya, number 1. Number 2, Anant Samapatti. Anant is sitting in front of us. Anant Samapatti. Anant Samapatti. These are the two methods. Samapatti Bhyam. So this is what is the sutra. But I have divided this. Prayatan Shaithilya. Prayatan means the effort. Shaithilta means effortlessness. No? Okay. So one salient feature of this asana is effortlessness should be there. Number 1. Number 2, Anant Samapatti. Anant can be sky. Anant can be ocean, Anant can be Shesh, Abhishesh, Sheshanag is also said to be Ananta. So it can be infinite, whatever it may be. It is Ananta Samapatti. So when you merge Samapatti is a technical term used by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra. What is that? No, it is. No, people have, that is also a mistake. Samapatti is a process and Samadhi is a result of this process. Again, people have mistaken in understanding this. When Vrittis, Kshina Vritte, what is the definition? Go through the 41 Sutra or 40th Sutra. 41 or 40? It is 41. It is 41, I think. No, 40. Can you please? 41. Is it 41? Forty or 41, that is what is the confusion. Kshina vritte avijatasya mane grihitri grahan grahiyeshu tathast tad anjanta samapatti of the first chapter. Okay? Samapatti, when you are samapan, when you are totally engrossed, totally merged with this infinite, whether it is a Akash, whether it is an ocean, whether it is, at that point of time, there is a effortlessness. And whenever there is a effortlessness, you do not know what is your body position at that point of time. Do I agree with this statement? Yes. This is a logic, and it is based on my practice. Not, I am not talking theoretically, but as per my practice, I have tried to understand the sutras accordingly. So I used to say, Ram Paramahansaji, if he is on your back, he may go to Samadhi. At that point of time, Paramahansaji was not knowing that how he is sitting. When you are working in front of the laptop or your computer desktop, you are totally merged with the work which you are doing, which you are carrying out. At that point of time, you know whether you are sitting like this or you are sitting straight. Are you aware of this? That is what is the concept we have to understand. So this asana is not only steady and comfortable, but when comfort is maintained for a long period of time, that is called asana. That is a state of mind. It is not a physical posture. Whenever you are talking about asanen bhaved dridam, Ghiran Samhita says asanen bhaved dridam. When he is talking about the dridta, he is talking about the physical. When Swatma Ram says arogyam, what it says? Cha angalagvam. Arogyam, for the health and as well as for the angalagva, for the lightness of the body limbs. That is what is the purpose of Swatma Rama's asana. And what is the purpose of Ghiranda's asana? Asanen bhaved dridam. That comes, firmness comes. Means at the bodily level, that is called firmness. And it can be, firmness can be taken to the mental level also. It does not mean arogya, health only related to the physical health, or only to this firmness is only at the physical level. It can be at the mental level. When you are firm in your thought, when you are continuously flowing with one thought, continuously, this is a state of asana. This is a state of mind. So asana is not only the physical posture, it is a state of mind also. That is what is to be understood. Is it, ये काफ़ी है आपके लिए? The और थोड़ा, you please all give me your email IDs. Because I have written maximum on Patanjali, and everywhere I have mentioned and given you the new thoughts, new idea, which is not, say for example, you might be knowing Ishwar Pranidhanad Va. People used to say it is an alternative method. Alternative. Va stands for the alternative Vikalpa. I don't accept it. I say no, it is not Vikalpa, it is a conjunctive. It is a conjunctive. It is not alternative. Without, along with other practices. Why I used to say this? I would like to share with you. See, whenever the practice is given in the group, say for example, tapah swadhyaya ishwara pranidhanani kriya yoga. Now, Gasper, Haber, Jacobi, these are the Western interpreters. They are considered to be the stalwart in the field of yoga, in the interpretation of the field of yoga. They are considered to be stalwart. I don't accept their this interpretation. Even though our Indian Vachaspati, Vigyan Bhikshu, almost all the commentators, you may say, they have interpreted this va as vikalpa. I don't accept it. I have a logic behind it. So, I would like to share with you 72 hours. I requested someone to close my door, lock and give me the key. Okay, so my room was locked and I was inside the room for 72 hours. And I have written one article in 72 hours. And that article is published in Yogamimamsa. Is Ishvara dispensable in Patanjali Yoga Sutra? That is the title of the article. And in that article I have established, I have presented this article in various conferences, in the philosophers' meet also, and no one is challenging this article till date. So I am putting this idea before you. So if you have some idea, if you think that he is the expert of Yoga Sutra, so I would like to meet him, and I would say that I interpret this va as a conjunctive, as samuchay. In Hindi we call it samuchay, not in alternative methods. And why I interpret like this? I have a logic for this, and logic is based on the practice, not on the base of the just a theoretical. So whenever the practice is used in the group, it cannot be optional. Say for example, tapa, swadhyaya and ishwar pranidhan. This is in Kriya Yoga. So Kriya Yoga is a singular, and these are the three components of this Kriya Yoga. Now this three Kriya Yoga, the component of this three, as your Gyan, your Ichha and your Kriya. Can you work without Ichha? Can you work without Ichha? You cannot work. So this Ichha, this desire, it is understandable to you? No, for her. Rest? Yes? No problem? So this represents your cognitive behavior, this represents your affective behavior, this represents your psychomotor behavior. So without these three you cannot work in this world, you will not be considered as Purna. So our conscious phenomena comes in contact with the outer world with the help of these three, Gyan, Ichha and Kriya. Yajnavalkya says beautifully, Gyan Janya Bhaved Ichha. If you have a knowledge, then only there will be a desire. And whenever there is a desire, then only you will indulge in the action, otherwise not. So these three are inseparable. You cannot separate them. Are you agree with this statement? Or I am forcing too much to you to accept my view? No, don't think in that way. Right. Okay? Yes, sir.
I have a comment, and maybe it's a question too, because when you sit on a chair, it's the most uncomfortable seat, in my opinion.
Myself?
No, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Because asana means sthira and sukha. And Patanjali doesn't say it should be. He says it is. The nature of the asana is stiram and sukha. That's what he says. That's the meaning.
You should not forget the further. This sthir sukham is prayatna shaithilya or the anant samapatti. So these two methods we have to keep in mind. Means his sthir sukha is based on these two methods. So these two methods, when you apply, this does not work on the physical asanas. It is a state. Patanjali deals with the chitta directly, isn't it? So he is talking about the state of mind. Your state of mind should be like that. You should be stable, and this stability, suppose you are in one thought continuously and there's no other thought. So long you are continuing with this thought, you are in that state of mind, and that state is known as mental attitude of asana.
I am agreeing with you totally.
Yeah.
My statement is something somewhat different, because when you sit on the floor, according to Sankhya Karika, he says you should have a platform to sit on, otherwise you will be slouching. So the asana, if it has to be stiram, mentally and physically, then the platform, the wooden platform,
It is applicable. I do not say that it is not applicable. When you are doing abhyas yoga, when you are in the practice of getting mastery on a particular asana, at that point of time you should have these two, steadiness and comfort.
Yes.
But in the always, whenever you are doing abhyas, in abhyas, tatra sthito yatno abhyasaha. In the state of abhyasa, always your effort is involved in it. That is what I wanted to tell. So again I will use the separate term. When effort is, why Patanjali mentioning here prayatna shaithilya? When he is talking, defining the abhyasa, he says prayatna, always tatra sthito yatno abhyasa. Effort is involved. And here the effortlessness is involved. So whenever there is it is not a abhyas of asana, it is a anushthan of asana. That is what I wanted to tell. It is a anushthan of asana and not the abhyas of asana. That is what I want. And what is this anushthan now? By here I would like to say, if you go through the 28th sutra of the second chapter, he has avoided the term abhyasa. He has introduced the term anusthana. Yoganga anushtanat. Ashuddhi kshay. That is what is mentioned in the 28th sutra of the second chapter. And he has used the term abhyasa 2 times in the first chapter, where abhyas vairagyabhyam tannirodha. Then he has defined the abhyasa, tatasthito yatno abhyasa. Then he says, Satu dirgha kala nairantarya satkara sevito deda bhumi. Then only that abhyas becomes firm grounded. Again he has used in the context of vikshepas, when he says ek tattva abhyasaha. Whenever there is a distraction, ek tattva abhyasa, where you have to choose one method and you have to set right the chitta prasadana. So it is always one end in view. Abhyas is always one end in view, and always having a effort is involved in it. Effort is involved in abhyas. Without effort, you cannot do abhyas. Abhyas is effort, is a great effort in other words.
so the effort should be effortless, finally.
Finally, when it is finally effortless, that becomes the Patanjali's asana. That is what I wanted to establish.
Just like you are enjoying the asana.
Yet you are enjoying the physical state or you are enjoying the mental state. So that is one and the same. There's no. When you are enjoying the physical state, it means you are enjoying the mental state. So it is a state of mind. When you are in this state of asana, you are in a state of mind. That is what I wanted to establish. Now, yes. Now,
Stage-like interpretation.
yeah.
At the initial stage, when a seeker is a beginner, so he cannot take asana in the manner you are interpreting. But thing, a stage has.
That is what, I have understood. I have understood your question. That is what I wanted to establish. When Patanjali describing the eightfold path of yoga, this eightfold path is not a simple. You have done lot of practices under the Kriya Yoga. When you tapa, under tapa, not only the pranayam but the asanas also. So that is in Kriya Yoga, the abhyas is involved in it. Don't consider, whenever we are going to teach the asana class, we are always refer Sri Sukham Asanam and then we start the Hari Yogic asanas. So that is what I wanted to say, that we should be clear in this regard. Ashtanga Yoga sadhana is not that you have to do effortfully. No, not at all. So this is what is the salient feature. You have to be in tune with this. Continuously you have to.
Integrated, whether not.
Of course, you can say integrated. That is what we have to, because people have mistaken whatever the interpretation so far available, they have misled the practitioners and therefore they are not understanding, they are not reaching to the goal. That is what is the problem. I wanted to establish, no, this is a state which is to be, see, this state, you are not doing state and a happening state. Are you differentiating these two? Becoming, you are trying to become something. Okay? Isn't it? Is it different? Where you are trying to become something, you are doing. And effort is involved. But in becoming, it happens. Happening. So this asana happens to you. This pranayama happens to you. This pratyahar happens to you. Ahimsa happens to you. And therefore, the more emphasis is given to the Kriya Yoga, wherein you have to do something. You understand? That is Abhyas Yoga actually. So this is the most important part which is to be kept in mind while performing asanas or any practice. And therefore, people used to say raising hand and legs is not only the asana. That is what I wanted to establish. That's all. Okay. So if it is open. So I was just talking about the Ishwar Pranidhana. Let me complete that part also. When I said that when the practice is mentioned in the group, so Ishwar Pranidhan is mentioned in the group of Kriya Yoga, in the group of Niyamas, and Niyamas are obligatory on the part of sadhaka. So if you say that Ishwar Pranidhan is alternative, then you have to take out the Ishwar Pranidhana from Niyamas as well as from the Kriya Yoga. And then your Kriya Yoga will also be lamb and your Ashtanga Yoga will also be lamb. Number one, whenever you are using, in the 45 sutras, if you go through Samadhi Siddhir Ishwar Pranidhanat, Patanjali says, if Samadhi, now here Vachaspati answers, if there is a question raised by Vachaspati, says, if Samadhi can be achieved only through Ishwar Pranidhana, by Patanjali discussing the various methods, other methods? Then Vachaspati himself answers this question. He says, all other methods, whatever is described, it is leading you towards that Samarpan, that Ishwar Pranidhan. And ultimately Ishwar Pranidhan becomes the cause of your liberation, your sadhana. Vachaspati himself says that. They are not, actually speaking, all these commentators, it is not Ahankari statement. It is my humble submission that some of the Sanskrit scholars, they have interpreted, they are not the practitioners. To be very, very frank. Humbly, I would like to submit this in front of you all. And I used to say in front of the philosophers also that this is the cause that they have misinterpreted and they have not understood the key actually. Yeah, speculators. But let me tell you, our our this darshanas, we used to call it philosophy. It is not philosophy. We call it darshan. And these darshanas are not based on the speculations. It is based on the concrete experiences of the people, you know. And this is to be, we have to establish this in front of the people, that this is based on. So let me tell you, number one, this is the first part of it. Another logic is for this, that how Patanjali defines this Ishvara. Klesha karma vipakasheyi rapramrishtaha Purusha Vishesh Ishvara. This Purusha is said to be special Purusha. Why? Because he always remain unaffected by these kleshas, karmas and their vipaka. Now, here the question can be, we all remain unaffected. Our Purusha Tattva is unaffected. Why this Purusha is called special Purusha? Now there are yogis who are Trikaldarshi. There are yogis who have liberated themselves. We cannot call them as the Ishvara special Purusha. Cannot call them. There are Samanya Purusha, they are Videha Yogi, they are Prakriti Leena Yogis. We cannot call them as Purusha Vishesh. It is only one. And on the basis of this you can say, Tasya is a singular. Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. Not Tesham Vachakaha Pranava. It is not written by Patanjali. Patanjali says, Tasya Vachakaha Pranava. Tasya is only one. Who is that? It is a sound concept. It is an abstract concept. You know, it is not that the Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu or this or that. It is not embodied. What is? It is a sound concept, this Ishvara. Now, there is a question in Sankhya and Yoga philosophy. Who is responsible in pushing the wheel, you know, in the beginning? It is said that avidya is said to be the beginningless. Who is the awakener? Who has pushed the wheel in the beginning? As the Nyayikas, they have accepted Ishvara as the Karan, what do you call this? Nimitta Karan. Nyayikas, they have accepted this Ishvara as a Nimitta Karan. But people used to say, Sankhya, the yoga is based on the Sankhyan metaphysics, and Sankhya, there is no room for the Ishvara because their metaphysics is sufficient to explain everything on the basis of two elements, that is Prakriti and Purusha. Sankhya does not have any answer till date that who is the impeller, who is the awakener, who is the first who pushed the wheel. No one has answered this. I say, the way Prakriti, the way Patanjali describes the concept of Ishvara in Yoga Sutra, he pushes the wheel, but because of his unsurpassable knowledge, he remains unaffected. And therefore, this definition given by Patanjali can be justified. Do you understand what I am talking? It is higher level का हो गया लगता मुझे, छोड़ देता हूँ. ये higher level का हो गया. जाने दीजिए. अति हो गई लगता है. Pardon? So the Purusha who is already caught by this Prakriti, the Purusha which is said to be in Bandhan, if you don't accept this, then there will be no concept of bondage. Then there is no concept of liberation.
But the Akspare, all are, that is Sankhya philosophy, not the.
Okay, we'll discuss later on this.
Also, I want to ask.
Yes, sir. So I was telling that you give me your email IDs. I would send few articles to you, and according to me they are eye-opening articles. Please go through the articles and I will be happy to share with you. If you are having little background, then it will work. If you don't have the background, Haji sir.
The concept of ईश्वर by public and the concept of ईश्वर by Vedanta and public Vedanta, distinction, that question is not. And second, what is the distinction between ईश्वर and Brahman?
Ji?
What is the distinction between ईश्वर and Brahman? And what is the distinction between the concept of ईश्वर as
Actually, if you have
Advaita and Vedanta?
just, I will not indulge in this discussion, but only will let you know, this Ishvara of Patanjali is interpreted by Kolhatkar ji in the form of Brahman, that this Purush is Brahman. Who? Kolhatkar. There is a commentary in Marathi, and it is Manas Shastra, Yoga Manas Shastra. That is the headlines, and Kolhatkar says he has established on the basis of his knowledge, because Kolhatkar seems to be the practitioner, and he has established that this Ishvara of Patanjali is nothing but the Brahman. Okay, this much will be sufficient. So this interpretation is also available here to us. Okay, so should we start now? अभी हमारे पास आधा घंटा है. Anything else? Pardon? He wanted to say. Let him.
No,
Swamiji.
we can encourage question in the last part of the class.
Last
The end part of the class.
end of the class. Yeah, that.
Teenage Gandham.
Okay. Let us. So at the end of the class, he says, and his suggestion is good. We should appreciate. Okay. So all these names I am running. योनि स्थान अंग्रिमूल घटितम संपीड्य गुल्फेतरम मेढ्रोर्परि अत्सन्निधाय चिबुकम कृत्वा हृदि स्थापितम स्थाणु संयमितेन्द्रियो अचल दृशः पश्यन् भ्रुवोरंतरम हि एतत् मोक्ष कपाट भेदकरम सिद्धासनम प्रोच्यते. Is in Hatha Yogic literature, the Siddhasana and the Padmasana, these are, see, he himself says Moksha Kapat, it opens the door of the liberation. Moksha Kapat. So this two are said to be very, very important, Padmasana and Siddhasana. Now let me give you the idea about these two asanas. And if you go through the Hatha Yogic literature, you will find most important are the two asanas, that is Padmasana and Siddhasana. Both the asanas are very good for tackling the energy which is revolving at the perineum part, and therefore they are considered to be very, very important. When you sit by folding your both the legs, what happens to you? The energy, when you just sit attentive, the energy which is revolving at the perineum part, the purpose of Hatha Yoga is to direct that energy into Sushumna Nadi. That is what is the purpose. So long, if you are dull, not attentive, the speed of that energy decreases. And when you are attentive, samam kaya shirogrivam, then, and by folding legs, the speed of this energy increases. It is a kind of ring, it is increasing. As it increases, it gives you a kind of tranquilizing effect. This is also very, very important to be understood, because the flow of the blood that you have restricted downwards it becomes, energy becomes upward. So that is the most important, that two asanas are given. So let us understand the technique of Siddhasana, what he says. He says that Yoni Sthan. See, all these words are to be understood properly. It is said in the scripture that 2 angul, or you may say 2 inches above the anus and 2 angul below the root of the penis in case of male, and 2 inches below the pubic bone in case of the female. That particular place is known as Yoni Sthan. We also call it Deha Madhya. Each and every body is of 96 angul. मेरा शरीर, मेरी हाइट, मेरी उंगली के 96 अंगुल है, and that yoni sthan is considered to be the deha madhya, the middle of the body. This concept can be grasped from the Vashishta Samhita. This sthan, particular place, is said to be yoni sthan. We call it Deha Madhya, middle of the body also. You may translate it pelvic floor, you may translate it perineum part, whatever you want to do. It is up to you.
So can you more specify the 96 angles, how you measure that? Both this is a 4 angle, one like this?
Yes. So मेरी हाइट मेरे अंगुल के अनुसार 96 अंगुल है, आपकी हाइट आपके अनुसार, उनकी हाइट उनके अनुसार, एवरी वन ऑफ अस.
यदि मान लो 5 फिंगर्स लिए, तो इसकी पहले मेजरमेंट करने कितनी इंच है?
वो आप बाद में करते रहिएगा, लेकिन ये डिस्क्रिप्शन अवेलेबल है. वो बाद में करते रहिएगा. बट ये इट इज ए ट्रू, वट एवर इज, आई यूज्ड टू से दैट 3.5 हाथ का अपना हाथ उसका होता ही है. वो छोड़िए ना, वो उनको भी पता है. उनको भी पता, त्यागी साहब को पता ही. आई यूज्ड टू से, as the mother's statement is reliable for the child, mother says, he is your father, say papa to or whatever you. So the child accepts that statement as it is. Actually, mother knows who is the father. Child doesn't know. So as the mother's statement is taken to be reliable by the child, similarly, whatever is said in the scripture, we have to accept it as it is in the beginning. So long you are not examining it on the basis of your own concrete experiences. That is what, and therefore, in our darshanik jagat, we have a agam, we have a shabd pramana. You know, shabd pramana. What do you call it? Agam pramana, shabd pramana. But this shabd pramana is a hard knowledge for us, for all of us. This is to be actualized by ourselves. Then only. Yonisthankam. Yonisthankam. Angri Mool. Mool means this Angri Mool, it is this is the region, one heel. Heel, Angri Mool means it can be Takhna, it can be this heel also. Yonisthan Angri Mool Ghatitam Sampidya Gulfetaram. Gulf stands for the ankle joint. Ankle joint. What you what? my dear?
email address.
Pardon?
Email address.
वो आपकी किताब ढूंढ रही है ईमेल एड्रेस लिखने के लिए।
पहले बाद में कर लेंगे ना।
हाँ, तो बाद में भी कर सकते हैं. So yoni sthan is to be sampidya, it should be pressed with the heel, and then gulfetram, other takhna, gulf stands for the takhna, resting on the other angle. See, वो हमारे कहाँ गए मोरे साहब? नहीं, वो ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, बैठिए आप. एक सिंपल शब्दों में एक एड़ी को उस योनि स्थान पे लगाना है प्रेस करते हुए, और दूसरे पैर को अगर जेंट्स के उसमें कहेंगे तो लिंग मूल के ऊपर रखना है उसको, या प्यूबिक बोन के ऊपर रखना है. जब ये रख करके रखेंगे, ये एक स्थिति हो गई. उसके बाद और क्या क्या करना है वो बता रहे हैं. मेड्रो ऊपरी अथ निधाय चिब, नाउ मेड्रो ऊपरी बोले तो उसके ऊपर रूट के ऊपर रखना है. एंड देन चिबकुम कृत्वा हृदय स्थापित. चिबकुम बोले तो दिस चिन शुड बी केप्ट इन द दिस चिबुक. चिबुक इज द जुगुलर नोच. You have to put this jugular. What does it mean? It is Jalandhar Bandh, in other words. So this is symbol. This we have to understand. So we have to do the Jalandhar Bandh by doing this one heel at the perineum or pelvic, that yoni sthan, and then other one is the above the root of the penis or the pubic bone. Means that ankle joint will come on that part. That is what he says, the gulf etaram. Etaram means other gulf. Gulf means the ankle joint come on that. And then you have to do the Jalandhar Bandha. Then sthanu sanyametendri. You have to achala drisha. Your gaze should be stable. Achal. This is not moving. And pashyat dhruvorantaram. Here you have to gaze Bhruvorantaram between the eyebrows. Then this is what is the technique. Etat moksha. This, if you practice it for a long period of time, then moksha part, it opens the door of the liberation, and therefore it is said to be accomplished asana, that is Siddhasana. Is it okay?
Which legs on? Left leg.
You can change it also. In other text it is in the beginning, he is not mentioning, anyone can be kept. It can be left, it can be right, and in between you can change also. But that part is to be pressed properly, because that is where the prana is revolving. That is the part where that energy, cosmic energy which has individualized, is revolving. So with a view to tackle that prana, we have to do this. Now another thing I would like to share with you.
Question is that in the evening class, this asana when they, you can explain the theory and you can also illustrate so that the instruction can also be, that will be more comprehensive rather than comprehensive. Here you can simply describe the things.
See, it depends. I have no objection. It's a very good suggestion. But there are certain asanas, so he may not be able to perform the asanas. There are certain Shuddhi Kriyas, we cannot do that. He cannot do that. Okay. So whatever is possible, he can do it. There's no problem. I agree with you. Is it okay? Now I wanted to share with you, at this moment, there is a SP बोले तो Superintendent of Police in the rural, J. Jadhav in Pune. At present he is working. And we met, I went to inaugurate the one program, our CCY course program in Pune University, and Mr. J. Jadhav was invited as a guest. And when he was talking, he said that I was in the some interior area away from my house, my native place. During that time, just because all are adult here, I can share with you all. And this sexual urge was irritating me like anything, you know. So I went with a person, he quoted, like Sharma ji, and he suggested you practice Siddhasana. He said that religiously I practiced this Siddhasana for 40 days continuously. And whatever the result, it is a wonder for me. He said that my wife is with me and there's no such urge, you know. He was quoting this in front of, in the masses, you know, people were sitting in front. And to be very, very frank, I have also observed that the people who are, because this calm and earth, these are the two desires which never keeps the person happy, you know. So, but if you practice Siddhasana, it plays wonder. That is what I wanted to say. Now, someone was raising hand. At the end, that is good. Swamiji has said, and his statement should be respected.
Sir, that is a general question. Right? We can concentrate on the point.
Okay. Now again. Now Bhamorupari, now he is talking about the Padmasana. He has discussed about the Siddhasana. Now, and also the result, what is the result of Siddhasana? Moksha Kapat Bheda Karam. Bhedan Karam. Bhamoru Dakshanam hi Charanam Sanstapya. Bhamam Tatha Dakshovrupri. अब कैसे मैं कहूँ उनको, यहाँ पर मेरे पास और आप देख नहीं पाएंगे, मैं खुद ही करके दिखा सकता था. आपका सजेशन जो है, अब कैसे हम उसको एग्जीक्यूट करें? हाँ, वो कर सकते हैं, पद्मासन कर सकते हैं, मैं कर सकता हूँ तो वो तो कर ही लेंगे. तो एक का पैर जो है वो एक जंगा पे और दूसरा पैर जो है वो दूसरी जंगा पे, वो अर्ध पद्मासन में बैठते हैं. फुल पद्मासन में नहीं बैठते, आपने ऑब्जर्व किया होगा तो. हाँ, अर्ध पद्मासन में. क्यों जी मोरे साहब? सो बाम और ऊपरी दक्षिणम, बाम बोले तो लेफ्ट के ऊपर दायां और बाम के ऊपर दक्षिण. पश्चिमेन विधिना कृत्वा, नाउ हियर ही सेज पश्चिमेन कृत्वा कराभ्याम दृढ़म. अब अगर आप पीछे, इफ यू टेक योर हैंड बैक साइड, then if you catch hold the toes, so respective toe you are going to, so you are going to catch the right toe with the right hand and left toe with the left hand. So it is a kind of, we call it Baddha Padmasan, but he is calling it Padmasan. So then Angushtho Hriday Nidhaya, so you have to catch hold the both the toes, big toes. Chibukum Hriday, again you have to put the chin in the yugular notch, means Jalandhar Bandha, and then Nasa Agram Ablokyat. What is the difference? In Siddhasana he says you have to see in the Bhrumadhya, and here he says Nasa Agradrishti. Nasa Agradrishti. Isn't it? This is the difference. Then Etat Vyadi Vinash, Vyadi Vikar Nashan Karam Padmasanam Payuchte. With the help of this practice, you will be able to overcome all kinds of the disorders. That is what he says. Padmasana. Is it okay? Once again, repeating the same. So placing the right foot on the left thigh and the left foot on the right thigh. Then crossing your hands behind and catching hold the respective toes. Thereafter you have to gaze on the tip of the nose by keeping your this Jalandhara Bandha intact, and that is called the Padmasana. But here you may say, though Dhirendra is giving the name of Padmasana, but the description given by him stands for the Baddha Padmasana. Is it okay? Gulpocho Vishnasya Adha Vyutkarmen Samahita Padangushto Karabhyam ch Dhritva Vai Prishta Deshata. Now he says, Gulpo, Gulf stands for the ankle joint, takhana, and sometimes it is also represented for the heel also. Vrishnasya Adaha, below this Vyutkramen, how you Vyutkram? This is called Vyutkram. This is called Vyutkram. एक ऐसा है तो दूसरा ऐसा है. This is a Vyutkram. Is it okay? How to translate it, that I do not know. So under this pelvic floor, perineum part, but you call it General साहब, this pelvic floor को scrotum part, क्या बोलते हैं आप उसको? And again crossing the hand, Padangushto Karabhyam. Again you have to cross and you have to catch hold the Padangusht, means the big toes. Dhritva Vai Prisht Deshata, पीछे वो पकड़ के रखने वाली बात है. And it destroys all types of problems. Jalandharam Samasadya Nasa Agram Ablokyet. Again he is repeating the same. Jalandharam Samasadya. On the basis of this, it can be said that he has also repeated the same technique, again. Jalandharam Samasadya, you have to practice the Jalandhara Bandha, then Nasa Agram Ablokyet, you have to see at the tip of the nose. Bhadrasana, no, it is not. He says that as you have done in the Padmasana, that Padmasana you have to do, and then Jalandhara Bandha you have to opt. You have to see on the tip of the nose. This is called Bhadrasanam. Again he says Bhadrasanam Bhavetetram Sarbyadi Vinashakam. It will also help you to overcome all kinds of problems. Payumule Bamgulpham Daksh Gulpham Tatopari. Payumule, this first ankle joint below the Bamgulpham. Payumule. Payumule means the anus, in other words. So where you have to put the one gulfa, one ankle joint, and then Daksh Gulpham Tatopari, and up on this ankle you have to put the Dakshin Gulfa. Samam Kaya, you have to some means it is straight. Here actually when some word came, immediately I went to the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Samam hi nirdosham Brahma. So that's it. Samam is equal, equal same. So Samam Kaya, your body should be straight in one line, you can say, with your shira, your head, griba, your neck should be in one line, and this is called Muktasanam to Siddhidam. This is called Muktasan. Then he comes the Vajrasan. Jangabhyam Vajravat Kritva Gud Parshve Padavau Padau Ubhau. As we are sitting, in Vajrasanam, Bhaved Yoginam Siddhidayakam. That is what is it gives you that kind of accomplishment or success in this asana. Jano Rupri Kritva Yogi Pad Tale Ubhe Rijukaya Samasina Swastikam Tat Prachakshate. Jano Rubor Antare. This, both the sole, Yogi Pad Tal means the sole of the foot. These 2 feet between the knees, Jano Rubor Antare. between the knees and the thighs. This is to be, and then Riju Kaya. Riju means again straight. Riju Kaya, body. Samasina, you have to sit in a one line, keeping your head, neck in one line, and that is what is called the swastikam. Swastikasana is said. Gulposho Vishnasya Vitkramen Urdhutagato Chit Yugumam Bhumi Sanstam Karotu Janurupari Vyat Vaktro Jarandrena Nasagram Abloket Singhasanam Bhavedetat Sarbyadi Vinashakam. Will arrange something, some above, and it is a good idea. It will be easy for me to explain also, isn't it? So in the second half, will in the further session, will arrange some this.
Sir, next session can be arranged here.
So that there is a platform, so we can do it. So there is a platform, we can do it. Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to me to explain and easy to you understand. So thank you very much.